Hey guys, this is Edward's Aquarium. Today I have something different for you. Today I have the Samsung S7, but not a real one. It is a fake one that came straight from China, as a lot of the fake phones do nowadays. As always, came in a DHL package via DHL directly from China with love, and came in this yellow wrapper all around the box. So just a couple of words prior to opening up the box. It comes with a quad-core 6580M CPU with 512 megabytes of RAM, whereas the real Samsung S7 comes with a quad-core Qualcomm 820 with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Also has a 5 megapixel camera with flash and autofocus, but no optical image stabilization. Whereas the real Samsung S7 comes with a 12 megapixel camera and obviously with the OIS. Battery is a lot weaker. It's 2000 milliampere hours, whereas the real one comes with 3000 milliampere hour battery, and the fake one is not water resistant, whereas the real one is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and cut the box open and we'll see what it looks like. So here's the box. It looks fairly decent. Obviously it looks different. It doesn't say anything regarding where it's made of or who made it, let alone it doesn't obviously say that it's made by Samsung. So let's go ahead and cut this open. It's a little seal. It's never been on, hopefully, never been opened. Alright, so that comes off pretty easily without even cutting it. Very typical. Look at the box inside. Very low quality. Very sloppy. Just a generic set of headphones. Very low quality, I can tell. This reminds me of the cables that come with the fake iPhones. Also very low quality. And the charger, the wall charger. Hopefully it works on the 110 volt networks over here anyways. So bubble wrapper, and here it is, the moment of truth. Galaxy S7, all plastic, no metal, feels very flimsy, very bendable, does make a whole lot of noise. Let's go ahead and take off the screen protector, speaking of which. This is what it looks like, and we'll hopefully be able to turn it on without charging it. And no luck with that, so I'm going, oh, there you go, it just came on. Samsung Galaxy S7 powered by Android. Alright, so not something that typically happens with a real Samsung that would be booting up, so definitely not a real device, but very quick to start. That's pretty impressive. And we go straight to the phone app, which is also not happening with the real devices, but you know what? I can tell you that it's fairly smooth. So we're gonna look at a couple of features that it has. We'll include the conversation about the camera, I'll touch base about the display, and a few other things. So the first thing to mention is that when you look at the sensor buttons all the way in the bottom here, they're very dim. It's very pronounced in the real S7. I must say that haptic feedback is pretty good. It's pretty much audible, and it's also very informative as far as when you press on them. But let's go ahead and turn up the screen brightness as well. And adaptive brightness seems to work, which is great. And I think that would be a little bit too bright for us to see, so I'll just keep it at the original value. Let's look at a couple of more things on here, and but I can tell you that, you know, the build is absolutely amazing. If it was metal and, you know, I didn't know what these are supposed to look like, I could have probably and most likely would have confused it for the real device I was buying it from somewhere like Craigslist. Phone shows up, phone app shows up by default. If You do have widgets that you can actually put on here. If you search for them, I don't have it connected to a network right now, which I can't do that. Let's take a look at a couple more things in the settings there. I just want to get to the About section. And the battery comes pre-charged at 77%. All these things, they don't honestly look real. It looks more realistic, obviously, than a fake iPhone, just because, you know, it's by virtue of creating something that's a fake phone, but it's running on an Android, which the real Samsung S7s do, and pretty much all of them are nowadays. And finally, the About section. So it's running Android 6.0.1, and it does claim to have 8 CPU cores. Some other things on there like baseband version, the kernel version, which are pretty uninteresting for this review. Certainly looks great. We can also look at how the camera works and how quickly it runs, and that obviously takes a while to boot up compared to a real one. But if we put that on here, it doesn't belong here, and we try to take some snapshots of this. Major delay does not happen with the real S7s. Those are very, very quick devices, and as I mentioned, they do come with a quad-core Qualcomm 820 with 4 gigs of RAM, so the time it takes for this to work is very, very inappropriate for a device of this class. So, but it's not a real one. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what it looks like behind the back cover, and we'll see what we can. So in order for you to get the back cover off, that is pretty simple, but it's little, and I don't really care much about this phone because it's a fake one, but if you really, really want to see what's underneath, and here's another lie, it says 1800 ampere hours, and this is not what they claim to be on the website. On the website they claim to be 2000 milliampere hours, but we don't really care for that. This is what it looks like. It looks fairly well put together for something that's a fake device, but again, this is not real. Let's go ahead and put it back on. Speaking of which, font, none of that matches to a real one. Alright, now one more thing that I want to see is the SIM card slot right at the top, and this is actually out of alignment. This is not flush with the frame of the phone, which again, like I said, it's plastic. And also plastic. And you can put the memory card in there and the SIM card, but very, very nicely built in terms of part alignment. But definitely, again, we get the phone app on here, but very nicely built in terms of part alignment, and except maybe the SIM card slot, the little tray here, but also the build materials. You know, this is all plastic. I feel like we're back in the late 90s. You know, everything is made of plastic back then. So I think that this is enough hints for those of you that are considering getting one of these on Craigslist, and I really hope that you won't do it, because it's really, these phones are illegal in this country, much the same way as the fake iPhones are. So I really beware you. Do not go on Craigslist buying one of these, and if you really do, take a friend with you, the friend that really knows about cell phones. But use these hints to kind of figure out what you're looking at, and I'm really hoping that most of you will find this video interesting. As always, thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. I will see you in my next review.